It was quite some time ago that I stumbled over the aggregate publishing platform called PublishDrive. I became an instant fan, but then they did a big switch, and I think it was like 2018, 2019, somewhere about there, where they went from revenue share over to a subscription model. And immediately I was closing my ears, not really wanting to hear any of it. But as I've kind of grown as an author and as I've learned through experiences, I've come to really appreciate PublishDrive's actual model of not doing revenue share, but a subscription-based model. It actually makes sense, not for everyone, but that's what leads me to today's guest, Danica Favorite. She's the community manager for PublishDrive, and we got to chatting at one point or another, and I found her very fascinating as an author and also as the community manager for PublishDrive. So that's why I said, you know what, we got to do two separate interviews. So this week, we're going to be diving deep into PublishDrive, some of the things that we're excited about on the platform, and some insights from Danica about PublishDrive and how you as an author can leverage that platform. If you happen to have missed the first part of this whole two-part series here with Danica Favorite, it's okay. You don't need too much context going from one to the other, but it does certainly help because you're going to find that Danica is just absolutely awesome. She's so positive. I love her enthusiastic nature. She's super passionate about this business. So without any further ado, let's get into this interview about PublishDrive with Danica Favorite, the community manager for PublishDrive. Danica, I'm starting to believe that we're making a habit out of this. You know, it's the third time we've talked within the last month.
I know. I think we do need to have like a regular thing here. This is great.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So this time around, I wanted to talk about PublishDrive. It's something that got you and I connected. So briefly, just kind of share with me what got you from working with your author brand and with a trad pub company to now going over to working with one of the largest Kindle Direct Publishing alternatives in PublishDrive.
So that's a great question, and one that is really kind of interesting. I had been with Harlequin for almost 20 years, and I loved that community that I built. I loved the people I worked with, but the fact of the matter is that I was doing the same thing for so long that there wasn't anything really new for me to do. There wasn't a new challenge, and my former boss, bless her, wonderful lady. When we'd have that conversation, she always found me something. But I mean, to the point, like she created a new position for me, which is great, but
nice.
There was nowhere else to go. And so a friend of mine introduced me to the opportunity to come work at PublishDrive. And I thought, this is something completely new, completely different. Even though it's in publishing, I think the indie world is very different from the trad world. I was also very romance focused, and now I'm looking at all genres. And so it's been a really cool learning process and a chance to get to do more and really serve a lot more authors than I had been. In the past, if somebody didn't have something that worked for Harlequin, I couldn't help them. And now I can help any author, which is really, really fun and really awesome. So.
What's your role as in PublishDrive, and what's something that, like, for instance, if somebody were to reach out to you on PublishDrive, what would they be doing with you?
So my role at PublishDrive is I'm the community manager, and I'm working to establish community and getting PublishDrive more involved in the author community. So talking to people like you, going to conferences, seeing as many different blogs we can get on, any podcasts we can get on, doing all of those kinds of things so that people really get the word out about PublishDrive. So that's my job and what I'm trying to do. We'll put together some different get-togethers for author friends and things like that. So really just building that community around PublishDrive, because people still, a lot of them don't know who we are and what we do. And I'm here to help people and help them learn.
That's really cool. So we'll probably run into you on places like your Facebook community or maybe some type of a forum that you might be involved in.
Yeah, we do have a very small Facebook community. It's not very active, but most of what I'm going to be doing is, like I said, the different podcasts and any events and things like that. So that will be my primary focus. And if people have ideas of where they'd like to see us or want to talk about some things, I'm here for you.
Very cool. I had discovered PublishDrive in early 2019, looking for an alternative platform to move from pronoun publishing. I'm not sure if you were around for
Mhm.
pronoun publishing, but I moved
Was,
it.
I was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Rest
I
in
got
peace,
caught in that
pronoun.
too. Yep, I got caught in that too.
But that's when I discovered PublishDrive. And at the time, it was a revenue share distribution model where it was only focused on ebooks. It's changed significantly. So, somebody who's brand new to PublishDrive, share with me some of the perks and options and features that are available through PublishDrive.
So the nice thing about PublishDrive, and this is where we've changed, is we're no longer revenue share, which some people at first are like, "Oh no, oh no." But here's the
I was
thing:
one of
we're
them. I'm not going to lie to
yeah.
you. I was like, what are you doing?
But here's the thing: so we are a book aggregator, and we do ebooks, print books, and audiobooks, all from the same dashboard to all the stores. In fact, we have the largest worldwide distribution of any of the aggregators. So we can get you into more stores than anyone else. And here's the thing, it is that with a revenue share, you have to pay 10% of all of your book earnings.
Hmm.
With what we do with the subscription model, it's one flat fee. So whether you make $5 or $5,000, you pay the exact same amount of money. So to the person making $5, that's probably not a great deal. But if you're making $5,000, suddenly we're looking at this being a better deal for you because you're not paying that percentage, you're paying that flat fee. And the other thing that I think is really great is that because on a rev share, you want to go direct with, say, Amazon and Apple and Barnes and Noble and all of those stores because you don't want to give away that 10%.
So true.
However, what happens with us, here's the difference. Like, you can just put that all on PublishDrive. It doesn't cost you extra money to do your Apple, your Barnes and Noble, your Amazon, all of that. It's not costing you any extra money to do it through us where it would through a rev share plan. And so then you have everything all in one dashboard. So I was talking to an author who is moving her books to us, and she was telling me, okay, well, every time I have a new book out, I have to upload, I have to change all the back matter in all of my books in all of the stores. And I'm like, holy crap, why would you do that much work?
It is a lot.
You know? And so I think that's where using an aggregator is great because it's all in one place. And we don't charge extra. Like I said, you're not going, we're not taking 10% of what you make on Amazon because Dale, you probably make significant money on Amazon. And so we don't take 10% of that. You just pay your flat fee that you've already, well, in your case, sorry. But most people, like your listeners, and they're not going to do that. They're going to, however much money they make on Amazon, that's theirs to keep because they've already paid us our subscription fee. And I love that, especially as I'm doing more budgeting for my life. Knowing each month how much you're paying out in that distribution fee, like that's just one more cost you get to control and one more way to save some time because you aren't frantically trying to get up on all the different stores. You just have to go to one place.
Yeah, that's the most appealing thing to me is the fact that it's just such. And I'd share this on Twitter. I did a full thread there where I talked about how much it would cost if you were making X amount of sales through any other aggregate publisher
Mm-hmm.
versus PublishDrive, and you're literally like looking at hundreds of dollars
Right, right.
difference. And I mean, that's just at $1,000 level. If I can recall, I was like, if you make
Yeah,
$1,000
yeah.
in sales here, you're going to be losing 10 to 15% of that to this aggregate publishing platform. Whereas over here, you're, with
Right,
PublishDrive, it's just that monthly fee. So long as you continue to have consistent sales on a regular
right.
basis, which I would hope you would, it's going to pretty much be money in your pocket. And I think it's kind of cool. And you brought up a good point. And I'm sure you've probably talked to enough authors about this. So let's just kind of circle back to this because I think it's so important to kind of address the fact that when you do publish to places like KDP, Apple, Kobo, Google Play, all those, how many dashboards And how many times do you need to touch all of these various things? What were some of the heartaches that you've heard so far from people that weren't using PublishDrive?
I think it's a lot. I think it's the same thing that you have when you're trying to manage. Well, I mean, they're all different. It's all different managing the different dashboards. I remember when Pronoun closed, part of why I made the decision to not be wide when Pronoun closed, excuse me, is I tried to go direct on Barnes and Noble. And I understand that their platform is much nicer now, but I gave up. It was too hard. And for me, I don't have a Mac. I don't have a Mac. So going direct to Apple is harder. You can do it. It's just more difficult. And I talked to a lot of authors. In fact, a lot of authors that we work with, part of why they love PublishDrive is they're like me. They don't have a Mac. They're not Mac people. So they don't want that extra headache of having to upload direct to Apple because they can. It's just harder. And I don't know about you. Actually, no, I shouldn't even say this, but a lot of authors are not tech-minded. I know some of our authors are very tech-minded. I am not. And so when it takes me hours to figure out a platform, I am like, dude, I could be writing. Why am I not writing? And well, with PublishDrive, you get to do that because it's all there.
Yeah, the upload process. And by the way, nobody's paying me to say this about PublishDrive. I've been using you guys a lot here lately. The user interface is second to none. Now, you've been in a couple of other different dashboards. What sets PublishDrive's upload process apart from the rest?
To me, I think it's just because it's so simple and it's pretty intuitive. I joked about this at my previous job because we had some different things for our readers and on our website that I would help readers with, is that you have to understand sometimes, like, it's harder than it looks to people who don't have that skill set. Someone with that skill set, they easily do it. And so it's been really fun when some of our development team will be like, okay, we're changing this in the dashboard. What do you think? And it really is because they know I'm not a tech person. And so they know that as someone who's not a tech person, I can figure it out. And so that's one of the things that I think they work very hard at, is trying to make it as low tech as possible, seemingly, because it really is pretty high tech. But for those of us who are not tech minded, it's definitely a lot easier to use.
Yeah, for sure. And something I think it's important for us to address, and this is the part that makes me so excited about what PublishDrive has to offer, is that it doesn't just publish ebooks. What are the other things and options that are available for us to publish through PublishDrive?
So we do have the ebooks, as you said. What's also nice is we have a bulk upload tool. So if you are doing multiple ebooks, we have a tool that you can use to upload it all at once, which makes it so easy. So that's important to know, is that bulk upload tool, which they are constantly tweaking and making better, which has been really cool to see that they're really prioritizing that. And we also do audiobooks and print books. What's very cool about PublishDrive is we do have the Apple digital narration option now. So if you have a book with Apple, if you would like, it is something you have to opt in. So we're not forcing anyone to do it. Yeah. Just simply click the opt-in button to have Apple digital narration for your book. And that is really nice. I have a friend who was telling me that she made more money last year on her Apple digital narration books than on anything else. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, really cool that for whatever reason, people really liked her books that were digital narration books that everyone keeps saying, oh no, they're not as good. Well, I've got a friend with sales numbers that prove differently. So very cool. Very, very cool. The other thing we have, and this is on our site for anyone for free, we have an ebook converter. So if you need to format your ebook, upload your document file to our free tool, and you've got your ebook file, which is great. Our newest thing is we have an ebook to POD converter. So you upload your POD, your ebook. This is brand new, Dale.
Yeah.
You get to hear about it almost first.
Breaking news.
It's breaking news. I mean, it has been out for a while, but
Yeah.
basically, you upload your ebook into our POD converter. It will convert your book into POD. One of the things that we have that's really, really cool, and I will have to send you some images of this because, as you know, when you're changing some of the images to make it work for POD, it gets funky. Our
Yeah.
tool helps crisp that image and make it look better. So
Oh.
super cool. I will send you a picture of that. I thought about doing it before our chat, but I'll just do it afterwards and you can see because I don't know how you would use it, but it's
Yeah. So
very
you
cool.
you talked about POD, print on demand. Share just a little bit more with me about that. What's the distribution like? What are the trim sizes? Or what are some of the things that we can expect if we're distributing print on demand through PublishDrive?
Drive. What's very nice is we have a lot of different partners who accept print and on demand books. I don't have the list in front of me, but all you have to do is go to Publish Drive, look at our stores, and it will tell you the print stores that we use. We have a variety of trim sizes and things. We have people who do children's books. So I know children's books have all kinds of weird trim sizes and things that people can do with it. So we can do anything from your standard book to like a children's book. So huge variety there. And a lot of different partners, one of which is Repro India. So it's out of India. Very, very nice quality books. I got to see some samples in the office when we had each of our print on demand partners send like a sample book. And I was really impressed with the quality from Repro India. And it's a little bit cheaper to do it through them, obviously. So we're always looking for some expanded partners in that, but really, really good distribution. So
Yeah. The distribution is something that has always interested me through PublishDrive. It seems like you guys hit every nook and cranny. I mean, you're hitting India. There are a lot of companies that
right.
don't reach India, which big shout out to all of my listeners and viewers over in India. I see you guys and gals. Thank you so much for the support. Also, you reach China.
We do.
How?
We
How is
do.
that
We do.
possible?
Yeah, I actually have no idea how they got the partnership, but yes, we
Yeah.
have print and ebook in China. So we do have that distribution. It's a print partner and an ebook partner in China. I believe also an audio partner for China. Now, what I will say is that because of the Chinese government, there's a lot of censorship. So you can
Yeah.
select a Chinese store and get your book sent to China. They may or may not accept it, and they may or may not tell us why. And that is just doing business in China. So
Yeah.
it, it it is like a small warning, but I love that for the people who can get through that market and be okay, and China's okay with it. What a great opportunity. Like I keep saying, I need to figure out how to write a book that China, because I write romance. So I need to write one that's going to hit the Chinese sweet spot of being accepted by them. Because can you imagine being a bestseller in China?
It would be pretty stellar. I think it's pretty awesome, and especially, I mean, you think about any of the other companies, and right now, I can't think of any other company off the top of my head that is hitting China, and
Yeah, no, we are the only one. So I think
yeah,
that's really a cool benefit that people really need to be aware of. And to be honest, I think if you are a Chinese person of Chinese descent living anywhere in the world, like suddenly that's a connection you can have to where you're at. And I have a friend who's Japanese American, and she has a heart to publish books in Japan. And I think about that for people who are Chinese and have that background, that they can still be living wherever they want to in the world and be able to reach that audience, which is super, super cool.
yeah. Publish Drive's always looking to innovate, and I find that so refreshing and reassuring for me. More recently, you guys sent out a survey, and these author surveys are usually pretty good. They're usually pretty quick, but you guys have something that's fairly lengthy and it's very meaty. Could you share just a little bit more about this survey? What is it going to produce for authors, and how can people get to fill that out?
So, yeah, we have this really great survey that is a lengthy survey. You're right. But it really came from a place of, first of all, as you were saying, the idea of innovation and how are we as a company going to pivot in this new world of publishing that is ever changing, but also like what do authors really think about things? And I was at a conference where this guy, he was like this anti-ads evangelist, and he was like, Facebook ads don't work anymore, and let me tell you why. And he would just sit people down and tell them all why Facebook ads were bad, why they didn't work, how terrible. And I'm like, dude, just because they don't work for you doesn't mean they don't work. And there are lots of authors who Facebook ads work great for.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so really to be able to say, okay, like let's put stuff like that in a survey. Are Facebook ads working for you? Why or why not? Like what's going on with the tactics and the techniques you as authors are using to become profitable? And what is and isn't working, and to really dial down on that stuff, because I think it's easy to have one voice of a loud person in an online forum saying something is gospel, as opposed to let's survey the broader author community and figure out what's really going on in the industry and what is and isn't working. And for me, AI is one of those hot topics. And
Oh yeah.
and like you have people who are super super anti AI, you have people who are super pro AI, you've
Yeah.
got people in the middle. But ultimately what I've found in all of these AI conversations is that so many times people don't even know what they're talking about. And so like what part of AI don't you like and why don't you like it? And like AI is the devil. Okay, well, great. Why do you think AI is the devil? Like really, like let's dial down what the problem is. And so I do ask a lot of detailed questions about AI in that, but it really is to find out what's the real problem. Because you'll have authors who say, I'll use it for this, but not this. Well, okay, what's the difference? And why do you see a difference? And really figuring that out, because I think as authors we really need to see what it's being used for and why, and maybe ways that you haven't thought of it, or maybe concerns that you have about it that are legitimate, or maybe it's just a worry because you don't understand the technology.
Yeah. And so with this survey, you guys are getting as much of this data as possible. How soon do authors need to fill this out? When's the deadline for this survey to be completed?
Oh, I'd really like it done as soon as possible.
Okay.
We're hoping to be able to compile the results around the first of the year so that I
Okay.
can start putting the results together, sending out reports. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but that's my goal. Because we really do want to be able to put out some kind of report that's going to be useful to people, so that as they're coming into the new year and planning their author career, they really have good information as to what's actually happening in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll put a link to that inside the show notes. Let's go ahead and close it out. And rather than doing my normal question, since I've already had you on as a guest here at this point, why don't we just go ahead and close it out? If anybody is interested in looking into PublishDrive, what's the best way to do that?
So they can email me at danica@publishdrive.com. And, we've got a couple other really cool features we didn't get to talk about. So I can tell you about those things. Email me and let's see how we can help you, because that's really been the drive of my career, and just wanting to help other authors. So